Mm, 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 mm. Week old Krispy Kreme. All right. In this chapter 8 of First Corinthians, Paul is talking about food that is sacrificed to idols. Now, this is a big shift. He's been talking about sexual immorality for a few chapters now, and now he's shifting to a new division that is going on in the church, the thing that is dividing the church. And so he's addressing this issue of food that is sacrificed to idols. So back then, people would, they had idol worship. It was a much bigger deal than we think about it today. And they would actually sacrifice food to idols. There was leftover food. What do you do with it? Well, should we eat it? Should we not eat it? That was a question. And so Paul addresses this issue, and he says those of you that are mature in the faith probably understand that that meant nothing. You sacrifice to nothingness. So that food really does not have anything special about it. It'd be just like me eating this donut here. It wasn't sacrificed to an idol. It doesn't matter. If I did sacrifice to an idol, it doesn't matter because an idol's not real. So that's basically what Paul is kind of saying here. But then he makes a great point that I think is good for all of us to remember, is that if you are, and these guys may be eating sacrificed lamb chops or whatever you want to call them, if you're eating that and a brother sees you do that and thinks all of a sudden, oh, it's okay maybe for me to sacrifice food to an idol, and while you're the whole time realizing that it means nothing, so what you sacrifice to an idol, but your brother's thinking, oh, maybe it's okay for me to sacrifice food to an idol, then you cause them to fall into a sin. And we see this all the time, really, in our youth group, especially for maybe some of our older youth. They might do something that they say, well, it's not that big a deal, it's not really a sin, but somebody might take it wrongly, might view it as something that you didn't mean for it to be, because I'm having a hard time explaining this, but basically, let me think of an example. So maybe you do something on Facebook, you're like, it's not a big deal, it's not a big sin, but somebody younger might see that and think of it as you actually affirming or saying that action is okay, and actually fall into sin themselves. So Paul basically says it's better not to even do anything. He even went to the point, I'll give up meat altogether if it keeps somebody out of sin. I'll give up whatever it is that I'm having a hard example thinking of altogether if it keeps me from sin. So that's something to think about, guys. What are we doing that would cause someone else to fall into sin? And are we willing to give up sort of our own selfish ambition, our own selfish desire, our own delicious meats so that we can keep someone else from sinning? Something to think about, very interesting. That's all I got for chapter 8. Everybody say, hey, hey, Coco. Hey, hey, hey.